What's going on, y'all? Paul the Barbarian here. We're going to talk about headgear, turkey hats. They're the new rage. I'm all about it right now. But we're going to talk about helmets. We're going to talk about headgear. We're going to talk about different aspects and things you should really look for in a helmet design when you're looking at buying one. It's one of the hardest things to find in the direction, the documentation, materials, just about everything that has to do with a helmet. It's a pretty important part of your armor. We kind of want to keep the noggin safe. So, helmets. They need to be strong. They need to be well used, well situated to be useful to you. You want to be able. You don't want this to be holding you back from performing at a higher level. Your helmet does. Helmets naturally hold everybody back. We're all breathing our own CO2. We're right here, hugged into our own face and everything else like that. I've had a lot of people ask me where they can find a helmet like mine. I'm going to tell you why that's not a good idea. Couple of simple things. My vision in this helmet is actually really good. I can see people's feet 3 feet out from me. It's actually pretty okay. It's primarily because it was built to me. It's built to my face. Unless you find a guy, an armorer, that is willing to take a head cast of you and do all that, it's going to be a little bit harder for them to match it up to make it correct to you. I'm going to tell you another thing that's really bad about this thing. I've said it multiple times. There's no breathing. I don't breathe. Well, I do, but I breathe in different ways. I had to completely retrain myself how to breathe using this helmet. There's no perforations around the mouth. There's only 2 perforations underneath the nose. Most of the historical versions of this have a beard built into this. It's actually hammered into the face of this, and they have slots put in it, which is pretty good breathability, but it's not the most optimal. There's not a whole lot of peripheral vision in this as well. Peripheral vision, like going out to the sides and everything else like that. This has a wider ocular set, so you're actually able to get a little bit more vision out to the sides of you. This thing's actually also really close to my face. Sometimes you really don't want to be close to your face. The idea behind how you think about vision in a helmet. If you take your fingers like this and you bring them real close, you can see a lot out. If you take them further away, you can't see as much through the split of your fingers, thinking about an eye slot. You want the helmet to be kind of away from your face. That's also has to do with chin straps and how it pulls the helmet on your head and situates it. So when I'm looking at helmets and when I'm going through and I'm doing different things, I'm always looking for good vision, good breathability, but I also want to think about safety because there are people swinging 2-handed axes at me. They are trying to make me quit. They're trying to they're going to hit me in the head as hard as humanly possible. And I want to make sure that the helmet's safe enough that I can deal with that and keep fighting. Eye protection is a very, very straightforward thing. This has eye bars in it. The eye slots up here have eye bars in it. Regulations for different organizations have different specs that they need you to meet. HMB is a little bit more stringent on it because they like documentation a little bit better. In the States, it's a little bit more wishy-washy on that. Not exactly wishy-washy, but flexible. Let's go with that. We like safety. We add extra bars into things. It's not the worst thing if you're not planning on going overseas. If you just want to stay domestic and you want to beat people up in the States, that's perfectly fine too. Get yourself a safe helmet. Don't skimp on buying a helmet. If you find one used, make sure it doesn't have gigantic dents in it, like that. Make sure that it doesn't have any cracks. Double check it. Ask them to send you pictures. Ask questions about it. If you can, put it in your hands before you buy the thing. Use stuff overseas. There's a lot of Eastern Europeans making helmets and everything else like that. They seem to be in pretty good shape. Ask them about their materials. Ask them about their process and everything else like that they do. Don't buy a titanium helmet. We'll go down a list of things not to do. And double check with whatever league you're fighting with and make sure that the thickness specs meet up. Usually about 2.5 millimeter. Hardened steel is pretty good. Mild, you want to go 3 mil or 10 gauge, somewhere in there. The material is kind of up to you. I like 4130 because that's what this helmet's made out of. And there's no dents on the son of a bitch. But mild is also good because it takes the force out of it because it dents. It takes out a little bit of that extra brain wobbles. So that's where that is. Helmets are very important to the time period of what your armor is. It kind of dictates what kind of armor you're buying, what kind of kit that you're running in, and it is a lot of part of the decision-making process. Sometimes people will sell full suits with helmets included so that you know it all matches, or if you're buying everything piecemeal or you're going to a different guy because you want a cooler helmet from him, just double check and make sure that your armor fits with that helmet. You don't want to show up to a tournament overseas and they go, oh, you can't use that because it doesn't match. Hopefully they'd catch it beforehand, but sometimes they don't and they just tell you you can't fight. That's probably the most annoying thing ever. So we're going to talk about visors and everything else like that here real quick. You see this nasal. This nasal doesn't have a visor. It doesn't have a flip up or any situation like any of these do. Like these all flip up. Like this is a big button up here that I have to push. I'm not even going to open it. This has a flip up situation on it as well. This is a fixed helmet. It has bars underneath of all this chainmail. It's not like it's just an open hole and you got to worry about axes going through it. But it has bars underneath of there that hold it up. This, as we all know, has an open face. And then you flip this on and it stays there. Don't fall off, Rexy. Little drunkard. Happens. So we've got fixed and we've got visored. It doesn't matter. It's kind of up to you. Visors are nice because you get to flip them up and you don't have to try and wrestle your helmet off if you just want to take a quick breath outside of your helmet. It's not the worst idea. There's tons of helmets out that are situated historically to have visors on them. There's lots of helmets that don't. Nasals are very common. We have a lot of them in the leagues. There's a lot of people going to wolf ribs, which are basically like a bar and then a couple of horizontal bars going through them. They're usually fixed, but some of them do have flip-ups. I don't know why you'd really want to worry about a flip-up other than just not wanting to take your helmet off. You can breathe perfectly fine through those, and you can put a straw right through and drink with them. So inside our helmets, there's obviously padding. There's a thing. This is actually a historical, I don't know what the technical term is. Somebody can crucify me over it later. But this is usually sewn into the helmet. This is completely situated. Usually you'd sew it around the bottom and around the face, and it would actually be a suspension. It's sewn into the helmet and it actually stays off the top of the inside of the helmet a little bit, so it keeps it off of your head. You don't actually want the helmet resting against your skull. A little bit of foam, we put rows of foam underneath of this between this and the helmet to take up a little bit of the extra when you slosh around inside the helmet. But you don't want the helmet just resting on your head with foam there, because it actually doesn't take out nearly as much of the force as you'd really want it to, or you have to do a really good job with foam. I like having foam and a little bit of room just to put my head inside this historical situation, and it acts like a hard hat. Any hard hat you get nowadays, it's kind of situated the same way, where the helmet's actually held off of your head by a harness system. So the other point to these things, you see these holes here? They're for the chin strap to get threaded through it. Do not attach your chin strap to this. Not a good idea. It'll rip off the fabric. Fabric stretches, it moves. You don't want the chin strap to be super flexible attached to your helmet. You want it to be affixed to these things. Mine's drilled through and put in there with a rivet. This one's got a couple of rivets in here for its chin strap. All of these have riveted chin straps. Do not put your chin strap attached to your historical lining. It's not a good plan. I hate this stuff. Now, there's one other thing that we haven't really talked about, and it's all this chainmail that's attached to these things. These are called aventails. They're usually attached by revels. These are the little loopy doodles that go through your helmet, and actually, like, you loop a piece of wire, or the leather will fix over or something like that. But that's what holds your aventail on. Aventails are good. They take up, they put an outer layer, they put an incidental layer of steel on the outside for your neck, because your neck needs flexibility. Don't depend on the aventail to be your only neck protection. Please no, don't do that. Don't allow this to be your only neck protection, because that is not sufficient. I've taken axe blows like to the aventail, and I was extremely thankful that I had a gorget on underneath of it. Wear neck protection. If you've got it built into the bottom of your historical stuff, it's hung up there, but that's got plates underneath of it. I don't exactly trust those completely. I wear a gorget, a completely separate piece of armor, so it's not attached to my helmet. So if my helmet gets tilted or pulled in such a direction that those plates move, I still have neck protection there. It's very important. Some helmets have chain aventails, some helmets don't. You don't have to have an aventail. They are good ablative armor on the outside just to take up a little bit of that, and they give you flexibility. They also add extra stuff for your collarbone and everything else like that. So it's never the worst idea. Usually they come with them. Sometimes you have to buy them separately. That happens, whatever it is. Helmets, headgear. Take a look around, shop around. Don't just go with the one that looks the coolest, because sometimes they're not like made well. Go to reputable armors. Ask around your local leadership. Check with those guys. See what things look like and see what your price range really is. Don't skimp on when you're buying the helmet. Don't like spend the extra couple bucks and do it. It's never the worst idea. So now that we've gotten through all that crap, we've got holiday sale going for T-shirts. We're knocking $2 off. They're going to be $15 a piece. Hit me up in the link tree down below. All my different links are down there. We're actually doing a final run on that T-shirt design. We're going to a completely different design. We're going to be announcing that in the next couple weeks. Got all kinds of stuff coming down the pipeline. It's crazy. So we still have the shield giveaway, and you know how you get involved in the shield giveaway. You got to subscribe. Subscribe. Do it. It's never a bad point. It's a simple button press. It's all you got to do. It's not the worst thing in the world. I'm asking for, this is the final time I'm going to ask for artwork suggestions. Put it down in the comments below. I'm going to do a poll on a community post. Rexy is currently tied with a fist, I think. I think a gauntleted fist and Rexy are the top two choices right now. I'm going to look for a third choice if anybody makes any suggestions, likes on comments or anything else like that. Put it up. I'll put up a poll, and then I'm going to be doing that and painting up the shield. I've been working on that. I'll do a video where I prance around with a shield. It'll be fun. Otherwise, what else we got here on my list of things, because I have to write everything down because my brain hurts. Check out the link tree, link in the description below, because I can't talk. And check out the Night Hall. They've got online classes going on right now. Jay's doing some serious work up there in New Hampshire. I can't argue with the product he's got going on. We'll have all kinds of information coming out. I might do a quick run through on some night fight stuff. Ask questions. Tell me what you want to know. That's what I'm here to do. I'm here to give you information to make your process into this sport and this crazy lifestyle a little bit easier. I want you all to stay safe. Have a good holiday. Get vicious or get out.